Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse number 7. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend my
Hare Krishna. Am I audible? A warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining. Today, like last time, we will be looking at few more slokas this time. So let me start with the prayers. Om Ajnanaतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च ये कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hope I am audible. I am clear. Hare Krishna. Sudarshan Prabhu, am I audible? Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you, Swati Mataji. Okay, yes, thank you very much. So what I will do is, generally we usually start with the stories. Probably I can do it little later. What we'll do is we will recite the previous slokas, then we'll do the story. Then today I'm intent to do chapter 7, 8, 9. So there are 12 slokas. There are quite few slokas today we will try to cover. Before that, just for the continuation, you can recite all together if you want, but we will recite up to chapter 6, what our slokas so far we have learned. After this, we will have a short story about the chapter 8. Then we will recite all these slokas 7, 8, and 9. Probably we'll do Gita Mahatmya of chapter 9 next week. So today let us try to as much as possible memorize and try to cover many slokas. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, you can all recite with me or you can listen, whichever convenient to you. धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेदायुयोत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवश्चैव किम् अकुर्वत सञ्जय कार्पण्यदोषोपगतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वं धर्मसमूढचेताः यश्रेयस्या निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् देहिनोऽस्मिन् यदा देहे कौमारं यवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्ते धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीदोषण सुखदुःखदाः आगमपायिनो नित्यास्तां तितिक्ष्वस्व भारत न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वनभूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् विवशायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखा हि अनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम् विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते जायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषु भजायते सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधात् विजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृति बुद्ध्यांशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति यज्ञाशिष्टिनाशिनः सन्तो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषिः भुञ्जते ते त्वहं पापा ये पचन्तात्मकारणात् प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहङ्कार विमूढात्मा कर्ताहं यदि मन्यते एवं परम्परा प्राप्तम् इमं राजर्षयो विदुः सकालेन महता योगो नश्च परन्तपः यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेदि तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तांस्तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्तमानो वर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः तत्विधि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपतेक्षन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः विद्या विनय संपन्ने ब्राह्मणे कविहस्तिनि शुनि चैव स्वपाके च पंडित समदर्शिनः एहि संस्पर्श च वोहा दुःखयो न एव ते आदियन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः भोक्तारां यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिं गच्छति बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मैवात्मनजितः अनत्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेत वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत्. So what we'll do is we'll look at the today's story. Then we will recite a few more slokas on that. Okay. Today I am going to talk about chapter 8, story of Bhava Sharma, a Brahmana. So this Brahmana was, sorry, Amar Dakapur. There's a place in south. This is the place this Brahmana lived. He left Vedic studies. He married to a prostitute, and he was not at all following any Brahmanical culture, not following the regulative principle. Because of his did not follow his dharma, he is been destined to take birth as a date tree, date palm tree. Like that, he became a tree. And so this was happening one day. There was two Brahma Rakshasas. These Brahma Rakshasa are the type of ghosts, very powerful. They cannot be just uh, handled like that. So very, very powerful ghosts. Even some of the tantrics they can handle. So these are basically Brahmanas who become a ghost. So there was a Kushibal and Kumuti. These are two Brahmanas previous life. They became this. They became like this Brahma Rakshasa. The reason because again they did also not give lot of charity. They were taking it. They're very greedy. They're not following proper rules and regulations. So they have been cursed. So these two ghosts happened to come under this tree where the date tree was there, and their wife was Kumati was asking his husband Kushibal, "Oh, we have become this ghost. Look at us. What a pathetic condition. We don't have a Stula Sarira. Only Sushma Sarira is there. We can't go and eat something. We are thirsty." But don't have body to eat. The ghosts and all. That's why they get into another person's body. They try to enjoy through that other body. That's why most of the time we are unclean. We are not chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We are disturbed. That's where they attack us. So if we chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, whatever we are doing it, there is no ghost will be there. So this ghost, that's how they satisfy their desire. Whatever they want to achieve, they get into another body because they can't do. They can see they are thirsty, they cannot drink. They don't have a body. So she was very, very perplexed, and this ghost was asking husband, "Oh Brahmana, you know what life we are facing. We have not done any good activity. But what is that we can do to get rid of it, our body? Do you know?" Then his husband in a ghost form, a Brahma Rakshasa says, "Oh my wife, we have to learn about knowledge about Brahman, and we should know knowledge about ourselves, and we should have a knowledge of what is productive activities. Then we should be able to overcome this." Then immediately his wife asked, oh my lord, oh my dear husband, tell me what is Brahman, what is self, what is productive activities. So this question naturally, accidentally she called. She did not think some sloka or something like that, but naturally she was asking in Sanskrit. So this what is Brahman is Kim Tat Brahma. What is Brahma? So Kim Avyatmam. So what is self? Avyatmam. She's asking. Kim Karma Purushottama. What is karma? The fruitive activities. So she just asked, Kim Tat Brahma, Kim Adhyattam, Kim Karma. So this is the starting of the Sloka 8. Actually, in the left hand side, I given the Sloka. Sloka chapter 8 start with this. So you can repeat after me. You can learn one more Sloka today. So this Sloka is that Arjuna Vacha Kim Tat Brahma Kim Adhyatmam Kim Karma Purushottama Adi Bhutam Cha Kim Proktam Adi Devam Kim Uchyate. So Arjuna is asking to Krishna, what are the five things he's asking? What is Brahman? What is self or what is the soul? What is the karma? Purushottama, Adi Bhutam. What is about this material energy, nature. Then Adi Deva means who are the Devatas. These are the five questions in the chapter 8. Arjuna asked Krishna. After that, Krishna is explaining. But accidentally, the ghost Brahma, this Brahmana Bhutas. So what they've asked naturally. So Krishna has taken this as a first word of sloka. Even the half sloka she told the ghost, immediately they got liberated. So immediately from Vaikunta to aeroplane came, they boarded onto that, and the palm tree, who was a Brahmana, our Brahmana, he also became liberated and became a Brahmana. Not liberated, he became a Brahmana again from the tree form. Then the tree understood as a Brahmana, he heard this Kim Tat Brahma, Kim Adhyastam, Kim Karma Purushottama. He was only reciting this, keep on reciting this sloka, half sloka only. Just keep on reciting. And Krishna got so much pleased. He said, I'm going to give liberation. Vishnu is telling to Parvati, to Lakshmi, see my devotee who has been constantly chanting this only one half sloka of Bhagavad Gita, Kim Tat Brahma, Kim Adyatam, Kim Karma Purushottama. He's been keep on repeating, I'm going to give the highest benediction. What? He gave complete mukti and he taken him to his abode and he gave the best, topmost position in Vishnu Loka. So
Looks like Prabhu has dropped off because of an internet connection issue. Till Prabhu joins, maybe we can sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Can you all hear me? Hare Krishna. Rahul Prabhuji, Swati Mataji, can you hear me? Hare Krishna Sankarshan Nidhai Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Darshan Rajesh Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Dhanavad Pranam Prabhuji. I think
Yeah.
Gaurchandra Gopinath Prabhu was doing the session. I think internet connectivity is lost. Maybe till Prabhuji joins, would you like to sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra Prabhuji?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. I can. Yeah.
Yes, please Prabhuji.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitina Mine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi पाश्चात्यादिशता हरिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna
हरे
Prabhuji. Prabhuji is back. Maybe Prabhuji will continue with the session.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you,
Please,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu. Please. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu Sankarshan
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
It's so nice to hear you. I didn't want to stop actually. I want to hear this
And,
Kirtan. Amazing.
and
So this Kaliva, this is the only final, the outcome of this, all the session, what we are doing is that if you can chant Hare Krishna, then there is nothing like it. That's Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Finally, Rinarapi Sunichena, Karorapi Sagishnuna, Amani Namanadena, Kirtaniya Sada Hari. As long as we are able to chant and do remember Krishna, that's the final goal. Okay, thank you so much. So, sorry to cut you there, Prabhu, because it's very offensive to somebody chanting and stopping in between, because this is the Kali Yuga Dharma. It's like Krishna has himself adventured in the form of holy name. So whenever there is a holy name is happening, chanting is happening, one should enthusiastically participate and never to create any disturbance. Otherwise, we know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what happened in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Chand Kasi story. So Nrsimhadev has to come in the night and tear you apart. So, okay, thank you very much. So, did you were all hearing the sloka up to the Kim Tat Brahma Kim Adhyatmam?
Yes,
So, I
Prabhuji,
don't
we
know
did
where
hear. Yeah,
you.
yeah, we did hear. The Brahmana
So,
is
this
chanting
Brahman, after that, I said, yeah, Kashi Puri. Then he started only chanting the first half of the
half
sloka.
of the sloka.
See,
Yeah.
this is the power of Bhagavad Gita. There is one more story. I don't know. We will cover it in later point, but I just want to tell you that there was a one big king was there. He was a great king, but he was done lot of not good karma. He has done a lot of bad activities. It has become so much that he fell sick. Then he was invited the entire kingdom. He asked all the panditas, please come and give the solution. So everybody came and tested. They said, you have done a tremendous karma which nobody can do it. It's because of all your karma you are suffering. The king announced that anybody who cures me or takes my karma, I will give half of my kingdom. So meanwhile, there was a Brahmana who was living in the society. He was not educated. He doesn't know anything. In fact, this is a very unlearned Brahmana, and nobody wants to come. Even the Brahmanas knows that half of the kingdom they will get. But what is the use? They have to take half of the karma of the king, which is like you are finished. He has done so much unpious activity. This karma, nobody can take it. Nobody came forward. Any learned Brahma, the Brahmanas never came out. But this uneducated Brahmana, he said, I will go. The people were laughing at him. Are you crazy? What are you thinking yourself? You don't know anything and you're telling you will take the karma. Please don't do that. This Brahmana said, no, I will take care of it myself. You don't worry. Then he went in front of king. King also lost hope. Nobody will come. He knows that he has done such a papa. Then this Brahmana says, I will take all your karma. Don't worry. I will release you, but give me half of the kingdom. King was happy, if you want the entire kingdom, you take it, but release me of this issue. When he said, okay, you create a yajna, so yajna was conducted. There was a Murti was made, so they transferred all his karma. It was a black ghost, kind of a demon who came out of it, and he started chasing this Brahmana because all this Papa Purusha has transformed from the king to that Murti. That Murti is black ghost. Started chasing this Brahmana. This Brahmana doesn't know anything. He doesn't have power. So what he does, he started running towards the place in the village. There was a big pond. Then he jumped into the pond and started chanting something. And this Papa who came, he got like frightened, and that could not be able to do anything. Then finally it vanished. So the king also, everybody is now started running behind this Brahmana. Let us see what is he doing it. Then they came and asked Brahmana, what you are chanting? You don't know anything, but you are chanting something. Can you please tell me? Then this Brahmana said, I don't know any education. I've not learnt anything. This my previously when I went to Gurukul, my teacher used to tell, please learn Bhagavad Gita, please learn Bhagavad Gita, at least one sloka. But my knowledge, I could not able to memorize anything. I don't know anything. But half sloka I've learnt it. Dhritarashtra Vacha, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. After that, I could not able to memorize. I don't know. So I've been repeating this. So this what the Brahmana was jumping into the pond, started reciting it. Even half a sloka, even a word, if you learn in Bhagavad Gita, has such a potency that it can eliminate millions of life, whatever we accumulated this karma. Such a powerful thing. That's what is happening here. Says Krishna is pleased just by somebody is reciting this one two liner half of the sloka. Kim tat Brahma, Kim Adhyatam, Kim Karma Purushottama. It's simply that's all he was reciting. He didn't know another slokas. This Brahmana can finally became, and here also Vaikuntha Lord is taken him personally. So this is how the benefit of reading this slokas, memorizing it. So what we will do is we will recite chapter 8, chapter 9, sorry, chapter 7, 8 and 9. So what I'll do is probably I will do it in the, this will be very easy to do it. So I will do it from here. So 7.3 is what we're going to recite. So what I'll do is I'll change the style little bit. So what I'll do is I will read the word to word, the synonymous here, which is given word to word. Then we will recite the sloka. Then I will recite this each line. Then you can repeat after me. Then we can learn this. So you have to repeat for that whatever I'm going to recite these words. So this is the powerful way of learning the slokas as well. One thing is that you learn the meaning. Second thing, you may not get it straight away the Sanskrit. So you read one word by word, which is easy, simple. Then you recite the sentence. Then you will take it. Manushanam. You have to repeat after me. Manushanam.
Manushyanam
Sagasreshu.
Sahasreshu
Kaschit.
Kaschit
Kaschit
Yatati.
Yatati
Siddhaye.
Siddhaye
Yatatam.
Yatatam
Api Siddhanam.
Api Siddhanam
Kaschit.
Kaschit
Mam.
Mam
Veti.
Veti
Tatpataha.
Tatvataha.
So what I'll do is I'll recite the entire sloka. Probably you can try individually. Let me recite this, then you can repeat. Manusyanam sagasresho kaschit
Manushya
yadati siddhaye yadatamapi siddhanam kaschin mam vedi tatvataha. Instead of group, probably one of you can volunteer so that we can see that we are able to recite. Anyone of you want to volunteer? Rahul, Swati Mataji, Usha, Elama Mataji. Any one of you want to recite this, or you want me to repeat again?
Yeah, I
Shall I
can
repeat
recite
for
it.
this? Shall
Yes,
I?
Mataji.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Man- मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये यतताम् अपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेति तत्त्वतः.
Very nice. Any one more person before we move on to the next sloka? Or we can do it together so that everyone gets it. Manushyanam sagasreshu kaschit
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु
Kaschit Yatati
kaschit
Siddhaye
siddhaye
सिद्धये
Yatatam
yatatam
Api
siddhanam
Siddhanam
तां वेति
kaschimam
Kaschimam
vedi
Veti
tatvataha.
Tatvataha.
So Krishna is telling here, out of many thousands among men, This is not only men, women also included. One may endeavor for perfection, and those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So Krishna is explaining in here about Gita, there are 84 lakh species of life is there. Entire Brahmanda, there are 84 lakhs. Out of which 4 lakh is what human being, Manushanam Sagasreshu. There are many thousands of men are there. Out of which few will try for perfection. Siddhaye, Kaschit Yadati Siddhaye. Out of these thousands of people who try for perfection, very few achieve the perfection. And out of that, very few people only know me. So there are so many people in this world, the entire planetary system. Then there are 7 continents. In the 7 continents, Asia is there. In Asia, there is only small portion is India. In India, small portion is Bangalore, Karnataka. Karnataka, and that small portion is Bangalore, and that small portion is whatever area we are living. How many devotees are there? Very few. There are so many millions of people is there, but very few devotees. There are about 600 to 700 centers all over the world. Each center, if you take even 1,000 people on average, also roughly, that much devotees are handful of devotees are there. But you see the population, there are crores and crores of people. Many of them not able to get this. So if you are able to attend this session, if you are able to learn this shloka, means there are some sukriti, pious activity which you have somehow did it. Either somebody gave you prasadam, or somebody doing devotees for chanting, and you are trying to seriously asking what they chanting it, or you have come across any pure Vaishnava. These are the some of the pious credit all of us have achieved. That's why we could able to hear this, because what happens is by hearing this, even by hearing this, reciting this, millions of our previous dharma papa is flying away, like this are being burnt into ashes, so that Krishna will not give. Because once you have this bhakti, right? So I was hearing yesterday, there was a wonderful, we had a devotee care meeting. Then one devotee was mentioning, one time one Maharaj came to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I want to become a god, because that time it's a conception that Mayavada philosophy, everyone is God. So Prabhupada laughed and said, no, I will make you better than God. Then he showed Bhagavad Gita book. In that, Arjuna was standing and Krishna became a charioteer. See, the Lord become a servant of the pure devotee. So if you become a pure devotee, Lord will become your servant. So you can become more than the God. I'll make you perfect devotee. So that was Prabhupada's comment. You can see that Krishna doesn't want to give bhakti. First of all, he can't give bhakti. The bhakti can be given by another devotee. Because as soon as bhakti is there, you make a love, Krishna is surrender, he can't do anything. That's why bhakti is never achieved that easily. Because once it gives, Krishna is selling himself, saying that I'm surrendered to you, whatever devotees you want to make, we can make it. So that way we can see that even the bhakti Krishna has to give, that will be given to the devotee. So serving the devotees, somehow hearing to them, somehow doing favorable activity, that's how we get the bhakti. Bhakti is given by another bhakta. So the Lord will just simply purchased by this bhakti. That's why Krishna is very, very worried about. He will give mukti. You ask money, he will give. You want everything, he will give. But bhakti is something very rare to give, because Krishna is sold out. So basically, he has to listen to what are the devotee has to say. The devotee is greater than the Lord. So that's why this bhakti is very, very important. That after millions of life, we have come to this position to hear. So we should not leave this opportunity. We should try to make use of it, and try to learn these slokas. So that's the importance of this sloka. So let us move on to the next one. Similar style we will do it. I will read the individual word. You can also see the meaning. Then I'll recite the sloka, and somebody can volunteer to do that. Then at the end of the session, we can all recite together one time. Mataha. We have to repeat now individual letters, and I will recite the sloka. Mataha. Parataram
Parataram
na
na
अन्यत् किञ्चित्
anyat kinchit
अन्यत् किञ्चित् अस्ति
asti
धनञ्जय
dhananjaya
मयि सर्वं
mayi sarvam
इदं प्रोक्तं
idam proktam
Sutre manigana iva.
Sutre
Sutre manigana
manigana
iva.
iva.
Mata mata parataram nanya kinchit asti dhananjaya mayi sarvam idam proktam sutre manigana iva. Let me repeat. Mata parataram nanya kinchit asti dhananjaya mayi sarvam idam proktam sutre manigana iva. I think so. Anybody wants to volunteer to read? Swati, Usha Mataji, Krishna Madhuri. Any one of you want to try this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, please.
Shall I read Prabhuji?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Matta parataram nanya kichit asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre maniganaiva. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. So the translation goes like this: O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as a pearls are strung on a thread. So most of the time we may not see the thread. Krishna is telling in the pearl chain, there's a thread. That's why the pearls are strung together. Similarly, he maintains the entire world. Krishna, everything rests on his on him. So this is wonderfully explained by Prabhupada. Wonderful purport. So you can all read this, and Krishna is telling his opulence. See that entire thing is rest upon me. I am maintaining this. Wonderful sloka. So we'll move on to the next one, 7.14. This is also wonderful sloka on the three modes of material nature. Daivi, you have to repeat after
Daivi
me, a single word by word. Then after that, Yesha,
Esha
Yesha,
Esha
Gunamayi,
Gunamayi
Gunamayi,
Gunamayi
Mama,
Mama
Mama Mama
Maya,
Maya
Maya
Duratyaya,
Duratyaya
Duratya
Mam Eva,
Mam
Mamyeva
Ye,
Te
Ye
Prapadyante,
Napadyante
Napadyante
Mayam,
Maya
Mayam
Chetam,
Etam
Etam
Tarantite.
Taranti Te.
Tarantite.
Let me repeat twice, then after that anyone can volunteer to read this, then we'll move on to the next sloka. Daivi esha gunamai mama maya duratyaya mam eva ye prapadyante mayam yetam tarantite. Let me repeat one more time. Daivi esha gunamai mama maya duratyaya mam eva ye prapadyante mayam yetam tarantite. Somebody can volunteer, then we can go to the next sloka. Somebody want to try? Okay, so let me read the translation. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So most of the time we are like a puppet in the hands of Maya. So she acts based on our karma. She acts on our on our activity. So the modes of material nature is difficult to overcome. Krishna is telling you the only way to overcome is that you have to surrender unto me. If you surrender, then you can overcome. Otherwise, this modes of material nature is very powerful and it is very, very difficult to overcome all these three gunas. Most of the time, whenever there is we have any fight among our family members, it could be a spouse, it could be father and son, daughter and mother-in-law, whatever activity or any country between country to country, India, Pakistan, or it could be any countries, any activity or the unpleasant activity is happening. That's because we are in the lower modes of material nature. So one person is in very passionate or one person is very in mode of ignorance. What happens is they always want that I want to achieve this. When the satisfaction is not met, when the expectation is not met, there will be a lot of fight happening between the family members, between the country, between the nation, between the continent, between the animal and human life, corona versus man. So who is winning? So you can see that it's all because of lower modes of material nature. What happens is when whatever activity we are performing, for example, we are hearing this Srimad Bhagavad Gita sloka. This is not a material activity. A person might read something as normal mundane music, or he would hear mundane cinema stuff that is different from hearing this to Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita and reciting these slokas. This is beyond this modes of material nature. Any activity, Krishna conscious activity you do, even you are earning for your livelihood, you are thinking that Krishna is the center, you are working because I want to maintain my family in Krishna consciousness, you are cooking something for Krishna, you are listening to something for Krishna, you are reading something for Krishna. So and what happens is this activity, even though it looks like a normal reading, writing, eating activity, this is beyond these three modes of material nature. Number one, it doesn't accumulate any karma. Second thing, these are beyond these modes of material nature. It never binds you in this material world again. These are transcendental beyond these modes of Suddha Sattva. So what happens is you slowly will be elevated to that platform where originally we will be going back to Godhead, where we will be performing the same activity. So this is very important to understand that this can be only done if you include Krishna in your activity. If you exclude Krishna, then all the activity you are doing it for Maya. So any activity which you are doing, think before that, okay, Krishna is there in the center. When I get up in the morning, so anything I do, am I doing pleasing to which is Krishna? It's not that we what do you say, renounce everything and go to forest and meditate. No, we have to do our duty, but we have to do it, keep Krishna and keeping in the center. Somehow I'll make my time to chant early in the morning. We do a conduct a japa session every day. There are few devotees join. At least 5 minutes. What happens in 24 hours you have? At least 5 minutes. Let me get up between 6 to 8. Whatever time you get up, that's fine. Let me come and chant with the devotees one round. That is one activity you're doing for Krishna, saying that today I want to start with good day. I want to stand one round. It takes about 6 to 7 minutes. You join and you can leave and start your activity. You can go to office, take bath, whatever you want to do. While taking bath, you want to listen to something, you can listen to this Bhagavad Gita for memorization, or you can hear some Prabhupada lectures. Then you cook something, offer to Krishna, take it to your office. If you're working from home, you can work from home. After while working, you can imagine that I'm doing this because I want to earn money and I want to bring up my family Krishna consciousness. I want to help the temple, like that. You can do the seva. Then evening, but before going to bed, take one chapter of a Krishna book and read one story of Krishna book, or at least few pages of Krishna book. Then chant round. If you want to run, chant round, chant round. Otherwise, go to bed. If you perform this kind of a streamlined activity, this is what we are telling. All this activity right from the morning to the evening you do, there is no karma bound. These are beyond this modes of material nature. If you don't do this Krishna as a center, you do again, let's say imagine you're a normal person, you're getting up early morning, you're having whatever you want to have, you're watching morning newspaper, reading something, going to the office, coming back, eating something and sleeping. You're listening to some mundane music and listening. This all will be binding. Either it will be in the three modes of material nature. Somebody might hear Carnatic music, which is in the mode of goodness. Somebody might hear rock, some pop music, which is more of in the passion. Somebody might hear really the low graded music, which is the mode of ignorance. So what happens is anything you hear in Krishna consciousness, the same pop music, there are a lot of devotees do a wonderful album. I'm not telling, I'm not against people listening to pop. So you want to listen pop song, no problem. There are a lot of devotees in ISKCON created a pop song. You go and listen to them. If you want to hear to some nice music, no, I'm not against music. You can listen to. There are so many varieties of music available for you. The devotees have sung to so many Vaishnava bhajans. You want to watch movie, I'm not against people watching movies. Go and look into the life history of the Acharyas. Namacharya Haridas Thakur movies there. You can look at into Prahlad Maharaj. There are so many other alternatives available. You look into Ramayana, Mahabharata, go deep into that. There are so many serials are available. make Krishna conscious, nice your activity. That's all we are saying. Then we are against this, we are overcoming these three modes of material nature. So this is a very powerful sloka. This is how you practically apply. Not only learning, we want to apply that practically as well. So the next sloka, uh, what I will do is I will do word by word. Then I will do this sloka. Then once again at the end of the session, we will all of us can recite all this sloka together. अंतकाले च माम् एव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं या प्रयाति स मद्भावं याति न अस्ति अत्र संशयः अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं य प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्ति अत्र संशयः अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं य प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्ति अत्र संशयः. Anybody want to try? If not, I can go to the translation. Anybody wants to try? This is very, very important sloka. Anybody wants to give it a try?
अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्ता कलेवरं यः प्रयति सा मद्भावं याति नास्ति अत्र संशयः.
Thank you, Prabhu. And whoever at the end of his life puts his body remembering me alone at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Krishna is telling here, next two slokas are very, very important. Try to meditate on this. At the end of the life, this is the final exam. Krishna keeps giving small, small tests, like your practical test, small, small slip test that you have for the kids. Similarly, there is a final exam. When you pass it, Krishna takes you to Krishna Loka. What is that? At the time of death, if you can remember Krishna, then you will go back to Godhead. Otherwise, whatever you think, whomever you think, if you are thinking about your spouse, then your wife become husband, her husband becomes a wife. So that's the nature. Or if you're thinking about some animal, then you will become that animal. We have a famous example in the Srimad Bhagavatam where Bharat Maharaj becomes a deer. So he was on the Baba stage, elevated stage in the forest meditating. Then suddenly he saw a deer. He felt compassionate. So then he was always thinking, oh, this deer is wandering around, any animal will kill. He was thinking about deer, oh, what will happen, has it eaten or not. So then at the time of death, he was remembering more of that particular deer, then he became a deer body. So this is proven, it is scientific, it is not like a Darwin theory, animal, like we grow from monkey, human being comes, no, it doesn't work like that. A person, whatever, whomever it thinks that object, then he becomes like that. A person is thinking about a woman at the time of the death, then you becomes a tree of something like that in the form of life where he is naked and doesn't have any dresses. Or anybody who's thinking of something else, like then they become like that. So Krishna, the final exam. So let's say one person is not studied at all for the exam the entire year. He's going to the final exam. Do you think you will be able to pass the exam? If you don't prepare for your unit test, you didn't prepare for your cycles of test, you didn't prepare for half-hourly test, midterm test or quarterly test, whatever it is, slowly you get your mark. Consistently somebody is scoring 70, 70, we are sure for that final exam also you will score 70. If you don't score anything, you don't study at all, just before one day before the night, that's what most of the people think. Somebody take to Krishna consciousness, ಏಕೆ ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ವಾಶ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ they say why you are taking at the young age, now enjoy. ಆಮೇಲೆ 60 70 ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ. After 60 70 you can't even see, you can't even memorize, you can't even hear, you can't even do anything, you need support. This is the age, very, very young age. This Krishna consciousness big myth is that spiritual activity means it should be done only at the end of life. ಕಾಶಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ರಾಮೇಶ್ವರ ಹೋಗೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ old age. After 70 80 they'll say let me go to Kashi and come back and my life is done. No, it doesn't work like that. Rasavarjam Rasobhyasa, that we were talking about the sloka in second chapter, that desire will be there still in the seed form. Suddenly it can fructify. Yeah, at the age of 70 also you might get kamavasana, you might you might be struggling to overcome these various attractions to the material form. So from the gradually from the fifth at the age of 5, as early as 5 or still early, in fact, Krishna conscious starts at the womb when mother is carrying a baby. That's where the Krishna conscious starts. It just starts at that early. Then we can gradually develop. Then what happens is we pass the quarterly test, annual test, slip test, and finally we come to the final test. The beauty is that sometimes in the lower class we see that some guys who is very brilliant, top always in the class, if somehow he could not able to make final test. He had some competition or something, then he has to go to US or something. Then teacher he informed that I can't take final exam. I'm sorry because this is the topmost of competition. I'm cracking it. I have to go to US on behalf of school. I want to represent. I will be able to write the exam. What do you think the teacher would have done? They've sent him. They said we will make you pass because we have seen your trend for the last few years in the school. How you are studying it, your unique mark and everything. You have seen you are a top student. You don't worry. Annual exam will be excuse you. You go and attend that program, and we will make you pass. That's what happening, right? Krishna also same thing. We will see our little endeavor. Every Sunday we coming to that. Every day we are trying to attempt to make to chant our Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Krishna will finally grace. In case last moment also we are not able to remember, Krishna will give the grace mark. But that preparation we need to do it now. If you don't prepare now, at the end of the moment I will remember, that is not going to happen. There are so many scientists who research on cockroaches, who research on mosquitoes. You know what they will become at the end of life? They will become mosquito or cockroach. So I'm not against anything, but a person, the human purpose of life is to know about the God, to overcome this birth and death. There is no other better objective, or there is no better other options. So we need to endeavor our lifetime somehow to try to become Krishna conscious or try to learn this sloka. This sloka is not for only memorization. This is how we practically end up our life. So Krishna is telling, start from beginnings. Try practicing writing the exams now. Then slowly you will get, when the final exam comes, when you leave your body, then we'll be able to remember. If you're not able to remember also, let's say somebody's pulled the wrath of Jagannath. Jagannath says, I will at the time of death come before your eyes and I will show you my form. You will suddenly remember you're pulling the wrath. Jagannath will come in front of you. Krishna is giving so many options. You pull my wrath, don't worry, at the time of death I will make you to remember. Actually, we get this experience. When we were in the womb, actually we get to know all our previous life. Once we take the birth, when the pressure mother sends out our womb, then we forget everything. But when while in the room, the baby might be kicking the mother. It's one thing is the worms are biting. Second thing is that you know it remembers the past. Krishna will show you like flashback. All previous 100 years of life will show. This was you were like this animal, you are struggling like this, or you are this human being like this, you are struggling like this. Krishna will show you a flashback of all your entire life when we were in the womb. We have already experienced it. You can ask somebody, Prabhu, why I'm not remembering now? That is good. If you remember your past activity and still you want to live, imagine I would have been a pig. I was eating something filthy. If I eat something, do you think if I remember my previous life, I will be able to eat anything? That's Krishna's mercy. Krishna has given. You forget it for temporarily being. So Krishna has erased that because of the pressure. As soon as we come out of the mother's womb, we forget everything. And when we come, it is baby started crying. It is crying because, oh Krishna, I want to come. I have somehow come to the material world. That's why the baby cries. So we can understand that at the end of putting this body, we have to remember this Krishna. Somehow or other, we don't want to, go back to the again animalistic life and again do that. So that's a wonderful explanation Prabhupada gives in this sloka. So you can read. Then we can go on to the next sloka. This is also wonderful sloka. I will try to repeat this because of the time. What I do is I will repeat it thrice. Anybody wants to try? Otherwise, I will go to the meaning and other slokas. We'll try to cover as much as possible. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajanti ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Let me repeat. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam त्यजन्ति अन्ते कलेवरं तं तं एवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः. I request any one of the devotees to read it because don't shy. The reading of this Bhagavad Gita will purify. It is Krishna's word. So it is wrong also, it's fine. But Krishna sees your bhava, not how much mistake you made. So feel free to read this. Anybody wants to volunteer? Yellama Matagi, Usha, I don't know, GD. Yeah, anybody wants to try?
So I'll try now.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Yam yam vape smarena babam त्याज्येते हन्ते कलेवरं तं तं हेवति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावा भवेते.
Bhavitaha. Thank you very much. Wonderful. Uh, so, whatever state of being one remembers when he puts his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. This was I was explaining the 8.5, 8.6. These are the verses we should remember at the time of death. Whatever you think, you become like that. So that's why this chanting of Hare Krishna process is something recommended by this Kali Yuga. There are various yuga, there is various yuga dharmas. Somebody of them do yajna, some of the yugas they do tapasya, 60, 70,000 years. They live for 1 lakh years. Hiranyakashipu did for 60,000 years, 10,000 years, that's possible. But in this yuga, we don't know how long we will live. So the simplest process is that we just by chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, we can remember this Krishna constantly. That's why this everyday chanting of this Hare Krishna mantra gradually can start with 1 round, slowly increase to 2 rounds. Those who are already chanting 2 rounds, make an endeavor to make another extra round, 4 rounds. If somebody is already chanting 4 rounds, go 16 rounds or 12 rounds. So, we somebody will ask why you have to count the chanting. Generally, ISKCON devotees say, you chant for 16 rounds. Somebody against it saying that why, always I'm chanting, always I'm Krishna conscious. Why should I count some numbers? Is it not, look something like now, whatever I'm doing, I'm counting. You should not supposed to see your spiritual activity, right? Why you should count? Somebody will say. But this is to regulate. Sometimes if you don't count, what happens? One day you will do one, another day you will do 20, some other day you will do 30, some other day you will not do only. But there should be a consistency. What happens is this consistency becomes in the mind, in the brain, it makes a groove. When you do particular activity, keep on doing it, it becomes a habit. When it becomes a habit, naturally you will spontaneously do it. You don't need to think about it. Somebody likes doing regularly walking, let's say walking for a last 4 or 5 years, it becomes habit. Automatically, irrespective of any season, whatever, the person will get up and walk. If somebody is getting up, having it of getting up at particular 5 or 6 o'clock, in the lifetime you can never make them to sleep. They will get up at automatically 5 or 6. So certain activities we keep on doing it, it becomes a habit. So similarly, this chanting process we keep on doing it. Then at the end of the time of death, we will be able to remember. This is the one of the powerful process for the Kali Yuga. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Kalau Nasteva, Kalau Nasteva, Gadiranyata. Today, you know that Sankarshan Priya Nitai Prabhu was singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's it. That's all required. All this knowledge is basically to finally to culminate that we have to chant our rounds. We have to participate in Kirtan. There is nothing else beyond anything you have to do. So all this knowledge, all this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna finally boiled down to whenever there is a Kirtan happening, please participate in the Kirtan. Whenever there is a chanting happening, somehow other you don't have taste also, somehow other mechanically do it. You start doing mechanically, what happens is slowly you'll get anarthas is over, then you'll get the taste. So that's why the very important. How do I remember at the end of the time something? You have to practice now. What is that practice you have to do? This chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Prabhupada writes here. Therefore, chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the best process for successfully changing one state of being at the end of one's life. Period. Prabhupada has written it. See how wonderful it is. I have not read the purport, but see that Prabhupada is writing so wonderfully that if you want to change your consciousness at the end of the life, there is no other way than chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Please do take it seriously, this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then, then that's the application of this sloka. If you can remember Krishna at the end of the time, by chanting only. Now, somebody might ask if there are various yugas, they were doing yajna, tapasu, dana, all this will be included in the chanting of the holy name. Here, this sloka talks about what is the benefit of chanting. This is a big sloka. What I'll do is I'll recite thrice, then somebody can try it. Then we'll see the wonderful meaning of this. Vedeshu yajneshu tapahassu chaiva दानेषु यत्पुण्यफलं प्रतिष्ठाम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्याम् वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपःसु चैव दानेषु यत्पुण्यफलं प्रतिष्ठाम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्याम्. One more time. वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपःसु चैव दानेषु यत्पुण्यफलं प्रतिष्ठाम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्याम् वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपःसु चैव दानेषु यत्पुण्यफलं प्रतिष्ठाम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्यम्. Anybody wants to try quickly, and we'll move on to the meaning of it.
वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपस्तु चैव दानेषु यत्पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्यम्.
There is another tips to learn this slokas. There are meters in Sanskrit. There are called meters. So different slokas have meters. Generally, there will be 2 meters you can see. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajati ante kalevaram tam tam yevaiti kaunteya sada tatva bhavitaha. This meter little different. Vedeshu yajneshu tapahassu chaiva. If you learn these 2 meters, what happens is most of the slokas are will be in this meter, and the entire Bhagavad Gita, most of them will be in the first meter, what I explore. Then it becomes easy. One thing is you learn the meaning of every word, then you try to remember what Krishna is trying to say, then it's easy to remember. And if you put it in the meter, then it's easy to remember as well. That's how the devotees memorize it or they try to learn. So there are 2 meters predominantly these days. The one which I study, that's a meter which most of the slokas would have. So there are also equal Sanskrit names to this. I am forgetting this meter name, but there are about 51 to 60 meters are there. There are different shlokas in Sanskrit, different books adopt, but predominantly there is 1 meter which is followed in this Bhagavad Gita. So there are few slokas like this might have a different meter, except that others will have the same meter which you can try to memorize it. Okay, now here is the benefit of chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Prabhupada's last and concluded saying that if you want to remember Krishna at the time of death, please chant. Now, what will happen if I chant? A person who accepts the path of devotion service is not bereft of the result derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical or fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotion service, he attains all this. At the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. One might go to various holy places. One might give crores of money in charity. One might study the Vedas thoroughly. They might know all the Vedas from Atharvana Veda. Somebody would have performed various sacrifices in the temple. They would have undergone severe austerity. All this is simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is achieved. This might little looks like exaggerated, right? Oh, there are so many other things we think is important, but this chanting is a simple process, but it is difficult to do it. One time there was a person, one time he wants to learn something. Then this guru told, you have to do 2 things. I think it was karate or something like that. Then this person, I don't know, I heard probably in this class or somebody has told this. You have to do only 2 activities. One, you have to get up early in the morning, every day 5 o'clock. Second thing, whatever at 12 o'clock, exactly at 12 o'clock, from left side to your packet, whatever is there, shift it to the right packet. These are the activities. Is it very difficult to do? Exactly at 12 o'clock, you have to look at what is there in your packet. From left side right to right, you have to shift it. You try it out. You can't do it consistently every day. You will not be able to do it. So this process might be a simple, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is chanting a simple process, but the mind, most of the time, we think our family, some of the time our family members not supporting in our devotion service. It could be a spouse, parent. They'll say, "Why are you doing at this age?" There are other family members will say, "Why are you practicing this Krishna conscious now?" There may not many people support, or they might criticize. We think that that is obstacle, but that is not the obstacle. Our mind is the biggest obstacle. We always live with one more non-devotee. That non-devotee is nothing but our mind. The mind is a non-devotee, such a crooked mind. It always gives reason, first of all, why one should not chant. When in the morning you get up, first thing you'll say, it will give various reasons. Why, you might say, you are very tired, please go to take some more extra rest. Or it will say, you have other important activity, there is a pressing need in the office. If you don't do it, that will becomes a problem. Or it might say some financial commitment is there. You have to think about it. Mind will give various reason. I'm telling you, nothing will fall apart if you just start chanting. Giving 5 minutes, nothing will happen. But the mind will try to give so many excuses for you not to do it. Oh, you're unwell, you will become fall sick, or you have to do that activity is the priority, or that activity is there. It will keep on bombarding early morning. It will bombard with so many activities not to do that, whatever Krishna conscious activity you want to do. Chanting is simple, but it will not allow you to do that. On top of it, you might have other environment issues where the environment is not conducive, the family members not supporting you to do practice in Krishna consciousness. That adds up to that. But the main person is that, as we've seen, that the mind is your friend or enemy. If you make your mind as a friend, the external dependencies are just mere it will strengthen your practice furthermore. It will make you more stronger in practicing Krishna conscious. That I wouldn't consider as a problem at all. Of course, it's a problem, but that can be easily overcome. But the mind is the biggest control. How many times, if we have to criticize somebody not performing any activity, we have to criticize ourselves first. How many times we are given excuses to our mind? How many times we have listened to our mind not being practicing our devotional service seriously? How many times we have indulged in the sense gratification, even though mind has told, and we are uncontrollably engaged in our sense. So if we have to criticize somebody, we have to criticize ourselves, especially our mind. Such a mind is such a rascal that it wouldn't listen, it wouldn't allow you to chant. So it is a great austerity going. You can want to go to some places, holy places, you can book a train and go. It's not those so austere. But you have to sit 5 minutes every day, chant one Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that's a great austere. It is a big challenge to do it initially. Then slowly what happens is once you start doing, the mind will settle down. So that's why it might be, looks practically what is this Hare Krishna chanting is a very sentimental. Everybody can chant there. What's a big deal? But it's a big deal. It might be a simple process, but you start chanting every day. You remember by one mantra you complete Hare Krishna. You stand Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The mind would have went around the global USA, America, Europe. It would have come to all this. It would have created minimum 20, 30, 40 ideas before you complete the Maha Mantra. It's so difficult, uncontrolled horses like Arjuna. Krishna is riding in the Bhagavad. You can see the horses. He's trying to control the 5 horses. The mind is like that. It just goes everywhere. All the direction you have to pull it again. Every mantra you have to pull it back. Every mantra is a struggle. It is a struggle, this austerity. Then we start hearing this mantra slowly, attentively, start doing our practice. Other external obstacles all becomes easy to overcome. So first thing is that first we have to overcome is our mind. We need to train our mind. That's the biggest non-devotee whom we live with. So first we have to eliminate our mind propensity not to chant this Mahamantra. Then everything will be successful. That is the secret of every devotee. For advanced devotee, they will be able to control their mind first thing. Otherwise, Prabhupada was put into so much difficulty. So many people. He went and begged them, please take to Krishna consciousness. In India, he printed himself. He wouldn't have anything to eat. Even you want to travel, you wouldn't have a single penny. You would walk for miles together to print this Bhagavad. I think that somebody will become devotee. You don't need to take such a struggle. Prabhupada would have been happily chanting in Radha Damodar Metal, Vrindavan. He would have been happy in Krishna consciousness. But he was Paradukha Dukhi. He wants to deliver this message. So why I'm telling is this Krishna conscious might look simple, but taking up practicing it regularly, that's a big challenge. Mind will not allow. So that way, the Prabhupada here wonderfully Krishna is saying that by chanting or devotional service, the entire austerity, whatever you perform, Yajnesha, suppose so Yajnesha was performed in the Tapas was performed in Satya Yuga. This was Treta Yuga. The deity worship, Daneshu, Yagya, Punya Phalam. All these things done in the various yugas. In the Kali Yuga, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Gadiranyaka. So this is ends with chapter 8. So I think I thought of doing it 9. 9, there are a lot of slokas. I would stop here at the 8. What we will do is 7, 8. Um, Probably we'll start with 4 because I think by the time you would have all comfortable with 3, I don't want to repeat. What we'll do is we'll recite chapter 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in chorus together. All of you can switch on your mind and try to learn, and then we will stop for any questions or comments. If you whatever I spoken, anything like you liked it, you can comment it saying, "Prabhu, the point you told I liked it. There is something you learned, at least one thing you have learned. At least you can type me so that I know that now you have something you are getting it. So whatever one thing you liked it or one point which top of your head or one thing you want to highlight it or you want to repeat it, feel free so after we recite these slokas, or you can chat, put it in the chat as well. Okay, let me recite from 4, 5, 6, 7. So next session onwards, probably we can start doing it from 4. Then we'll get practice 4, 5, 6, 7 repeatedly. After some time, we'll move on to the next slokas. At home, you can practice 1 and 2 and 3 if you're not already practiced. Okay. You can all open your mic. We can going to do it together. I will be doing it very slowly. Then I'll open up for more question and answers. एवं परम्परा प्राप्ताम् मम राजर्षयो विदुः सकलेन महता योगो नष्टः परन्तप यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनाय संभवामि युगे युगे जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेदि तत्त्वतः प्रशाम्यहं पुनर्जन्म सो अर्जुन ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तां तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्तमानो वर्तन्ते मनुष्य पार्थ सर्वशः तद्विधि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्षन्ति ते ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः विद्या विनय संपन्ने ब्राह्मणे कविहस्तिनि पुनिचैव स्वपाके च पंडितसमदर्शिनः ये हि संस्पर्श च बोह दुःखायो नय एव ते आदि अंतवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः भोक्तारं यज्ञतपस्यां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिं गच्छति बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मैवात्मनजितः आत्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तैतात्मैव शत्रुः मनुष्याणां सर्वश्रेषु कश्चिद् यतति सिद्धये यततां सिद्धानां कश्चिन् मामेति तत्त्वतः मतः परतरं नान्यत्
किञ्चित्
अस्ति
धनञ्जय
धनञ्जय
मयि
मयि
सर्वमिदं
सर्वमिदं
प्रोक्तं
प्रोक्तम्
सूत्रे
सूत्रे
मणि
मणिगणैव देही एषा
देहेशा
गुणमयी
गुणमयी मम माया
मम
दुरत्यया
मय्या दुरत्यया
मामेव ये
मामेव ये
प्रपद्यन्ते
प्रपद्यन्ते
मायामेतां तरन्ति ते
मायामेतां तरन्ति ते अन्तकाले च मामेव
मामेव स्मरं मुक्ता
स्मरन् मुक्त्वा
कलेवरम्
कलेवरम्
यः
यः प्रयाति समत्भावम्
यत् नास्ति
याति नास्ति
संशयः
अत्र संशयः यं यं वापि स्मरन्
स्मरन्
भावम्
भावम् यजन्ते कलेवरम्
अन्ते
तं तं
वरम् तं
एवैति
तां
कौन्तेय
देवैति कौन्तेय
सदा
सदा
सद्भावभावितः
तद्भावभावितः वेदे यज्ञेषु तपःसु चैव
दानेषु यत्
दानेषु यत्
फलं
पुण्यफलं
प्रदिष्टम्
प्रदिष्टम्
अत्येति
अत्येदि तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्यम् Very good, very good, excellent. Okay, so anybody wants any difficulty in particular sloka, you can ask us to repeat, we can repeat. If not, I would open up for more questions, another 5 minutes will wind up. Anything, one thing which you liked it in the today's presentation, any of the slokas, anything you liked it or any takeaway point for you? Anyone want to chant or you want to open up your mic and speak, you can do so. Any one thing you learned today's? You have spoken so much. Any one of them you liked it today? Swati Mataji, thank you very much for consistently attending this. Do you want to add anything, Mataji? Anything you want to change or anything you liked it in today's presentation? Any point which you are aware, which you want to reflect? Swati Mataji. Usha Mataji. GD, I don't know who is that. Ellama. Anybody wants to add anything? Anything you learned today? Anything striking? This, the importance of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra I spoke. I hope most of you are chanting already. Feel free to increase your rounds. If you're already chanting one round, make it a two. If you're chanting two, make it four. If you're already chanting four, make it eight. If you're already chanting eight, make it 12. If you're already chanting 12, make it 16 minimum every day. If anyone of you have any difficulties in chanting, please you can talk to us. You can call me or put a WhatsApp. I can try to help you out. But think that 99% of your success depends on this chanting. If you do one thing right, everything will be all right. So this chanting, if you do it right, everything will fall in place. Don't need to worry about anything else. Krishna will take care of stuff. So as soon as you get up in the morning, brush your teeth, take time, exclusive time. This is like meeting your prime minister. Let's say tomorrow, Narendra Modi comes to your house. He says, "I want to meet you." What preparation you will do, right? You will make it clean, and you will see what you will eat. You make a preparation. Now Krishna is coming in the form of holy name. He is not only President of India, Prime Minister of India, he is universe, Jagannath. The entire universe is maintaining. He is coming exclusively to you to meet you. When you call, you put your big bag in your hand, you start chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna is personally standing in front of before you, holding your hand because you called, he has come. He is such a friend. Sukrudam Sarva Bhutanam. So he would come in front of you waiting for you. So we should not miss this opportunity to call out Krishna every day. Please try to call him. and he is available on this phone number. The phone number is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And you can put STD code Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Put STD code and you type this phone number, Hare Krishna dial, Krishna will be talking to you in the other end. Okay, I will stop here. Another 1 minute I will wait. If you want to comment anything, you want to ask anything. If not, I will stop at the 5:39.